Ah, it's a beautiful day. Maybe it's always a beautiful day if we just commit to seeing it that way. It's just letting go of all thought, relaxing. Making the decision to see the beautiful things in my life. Little bliss technique. Smiling, loving up. I do a lot of coaching with people on relationships. And relationships aren't just with other people. You have a relationship with money. You have a relationship with your environment. You have a relationship with yourself. But of course, you have a relationship with your kids or your spouse too. And that's very important. So I do a lot of coaching on relationships, all the relationships. And one of the things I use is the concept of counter waves. So for a couple, they're two people and they're emitting waves that are coming towards each other. And in between them is a field. And the field is filled with the conflicts or the vibrations or the thoughts, which is all just information and light. And if I can clear one side of that, which I can always do, it cuts the flak in half, and then we clear it again and it cuts it to a quarter, and then we eventually disappear it. And I'm not going to be able to do that with you right here and right now, but I'd like to give you a few secrets so that you can use this principle on your own a little bit. The basic premise is don't put crud in the field between you and the other person, or between you and the money, between you and your business. Don't put crud in the field, love instead. So in a relationship, just what do you love about that person? Focus on that. They'll feel it, and it will change them. So that's just a little secret about counter waves. I'm gonna do a big video on counter waves coming up soon here, but that's just a little something you can use right away. Putting out love always works. Another way to trigger a counter wave, and a lot of these videos contain this information, is ask yourself a powerful question. What do I love about this person? Yes. Or what's beautiful about today? That starts me thinking a counter wave to my other grumpy thoughts that I might have been thinking. What's wonderful about me? So train in the gift of a question to yourself when you need to start sending out counter waves to neutralize the junk that's in your field, okay? Counter waves are like the intermediate manipulations of a dream, we might say. And we use this prior to waking up. Yes, it's good to just wake up and be completely enlightened and illuminated. But in the interim period of time, just change the dream into happy dreams by emitting counter waves, by asking yourself a positive question, by focusing your mind on what's beautiful about your life. Now here's something that I want you to know. Everybody's talking about the law of attraction. You know, you think about it and desire it and you get it. That's not necessarily true. Because the force of desire also focuses you on the lack of what you're desiring. So that's not necessarily true. This law is also called the law of correspondences, which means, like attracts like. But there's another way to look at this law that might make you even better at using it or being in alignment with it, and that's calling it the law of attraction and repulsion, because you're doing both of them all the time. You're attracting some things and you're repelling other things. And I want to give you a real powerful secret. When you complain about things, okay, really get this. When you complain about things that you love, they leave because they are not a vibrational match for your complaining. But when you complain about things you hate, they stay because they are a vibrational match to your complaining. You should just sit with that for a year or two. The simple solution, of course, is just don't complain. But it's important to know, if there's somebody in your life, you're having a relationship with them, and you love them, and you start complaining about them, they'll probably leave, because they're not a match for that, and your love is not a match for that. But if there's a situation in your life that you hate, and you're always complaining about it, rest assured, you'll stay in it. Okay? So the best advice is not to complain, and to love, and to put love in that field. Now, I've got a funny story about that. I was just messing around with this law one night. I was playing poker with a friend of mine, and he was winning profoundly. He was winning every hand. He had all my quarters. So I did something unique. I thought this would be fun. I started paying him in dimes. Now, he's betting lots, and I just started putting dimes and pennies and nickels out there, and he started complaining. He started complaining about having to take dimes and nickels and pennies. And within about 5 minutes, it had completely turned around because the universe just thought he was complaining about receiving money. And pretty soon, I had all the money. I mean, I went on a winning streak that just wouldn't quit. So I'm not suggesting you do that, but it was pretty dynamic proof. I have another story. I'm also a singer-songwriter, and I was playing at a place on a dead night in the evening. They asked me to come in and play, and I was always bringing in 20 or 30 people were there to see me, and they were, drinking and buying food, and I always counted to make sure that I was valuable and worthwhile. And the management was always giving me a hard time. You need to bring in more people. This isn't happening. But I was always counting, and there was always 20 or 30 people that wouldn't have been there without me. So they're complaining and complaining. And finally, I started to get a little fearful that they were going to X me out. So I thought, oh my goodness, I need to start sending love into this environment. But it created a bizarre twist. So pretty soon, nobody started showing up. There was like 5 people there because those guys were always complaining that they didn't like the situation with 20 or 30 people, and the universe didn't know what they were complaining about. It just knew it needed to change something. So pretty soon, hardly anybody started showing up, and they started being nicer to me because I was just sending love into the environment. So again, just don't complain, okay? Next, I'll get them to not complain. They're not complaining now. Pretty soon, the place will be filled. Anyway, play with this. If you complain about what you love, it will leave. If you complain about what you hate, it will stay. Best solution, don't complain. Fill all the spaces with love. And when in doubt, breathe out, smile, love up. Flow love towards the things. Flow love towards your relationships. And be happy. If you like this material, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send it to a friend. Somebody you know might need to hear this right now. Thought at the right time can change your life. One thought given at the right time to the right person can change their life. So please consider sending these out as gifts to people you know. And I'm always available for private consultations and speaking. You can contact me at easylivingsystems.com, john@easylivingsystems.com. I answer my own emails. Thank you.